Welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour, your source for all hard rock, heavy metal, new metal, alternative, punk, horror punk, hardcore, rock, and all local bands, with your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bodfather.
This is Mark C. Daniel, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
The views and opinions of the guests do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of BODS Mayhem Radio Network, its staff, affiliates, or sponsors. Parental discretion is advised. Welcome to BODS Mayhem Radio Network.
Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I'm your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bodfather, and as always, I'm bringing you guys awesome interviews. Today, it's an honor and a privilege to have heavy rock blues artist Mark C. Daniel on the show. He's released the official music video for his new single, Gasoline Fire, and it's going to be the forthcoming EP that's going to be out here sometime this year. We're going to be getting into that and talking to him about all that good stuff. So, Mark, how's it going, man?
Doing great, John, man. Thank you so very much for taking your time out to chat with me today. I'm very thankful and thrilled to be here with you today, talking about music and good stuff.
Let's jump right into this, man. How's it been working with Tag Publicity so far?
Great. Fantastic people. I mean, Tom and Tracy they're just awesome. I mean, they're just really cool people, and obviously they really know what they're doing, and I'm thankful to have run into them and developed a relationship, and I look forward to continuing to work with them.
You've released the official music video for the new single, Gasoline Fire. Was it hard to choose between the current set of songs that you've written so far for the EP or album, which one would be the first single and plus the video? And what did you want that first song to say for you, for the ones who have not heard your music as of yet?
I kind of tested the song out on friends in the business and also family too, and saw rather what they were really reacting to, and that really got the most visceral reaction out of everybody. And it was also something that I was trying to project as being different and a lot heavier than what I've done on my previous EP. So both of those experiences came together and really pointed in the direction of releasing that song as the first single. And really it's more of like a battle cry of what I'm going to be doing for X amount of time for the rest of my life, So I'm not quite sure how long that's going to be before I start experimenting with different genre, but I can tell you it's not going to change anytime soon. So hopefully this will serve as a good spearhead for what's to come.
Gasoline Fire music video was produced by Tim O'Hanlon. How was working with him on this?
Tim's awesome. He's a Brooklyn guy, and I've worked with him before on a previous video. And this one was in the southern part of Brooklyn in Clinton Hill. I remember the day. It was a dreadful day outside. It was just pouring rain out and everything. But we had a big studio that we had rented out to do all the filming, and it was cool. So he's great to work with. And JT, which is one of the crew members, he's there as well. Him and Tim have been friends for a very long time, so there was a synergy between those two and myself, and I really look forward to working with them again. They're just great people.
Any songs standing out more to you than any right now possible that you're working on for this EP or album that you can talk about possibly? I mean, I know it must change every time you listen to it, and it's like, these are your talk about like your children or your collectibles, but are there any that stand out for you possibly?
It's an interesting question because I try to write and record music that I love. And so I really need to have that feeling, or at least as close as I could possibly get to that feeling of how the music that inspires me through other artists makes me feel. So I guess that might summarize what maybe listening to my own music could be. But it's still an interesting thing. I guess it's maybe like Jackson Pollock staring at his painting and driving himself crazy over a period of time doing that. It still drives me nuts, but it feels better now than it used to. I used to medicate years ago because it drove me so nuts. But since then, I've been able to kind of, find a good balance between accepting what that work is and being able to move forward with the next thing.
What do you hope everyone takes away from this new single plus new EP album when it comes out? What do you hope to hear while listening to it, or just any of your music in general, Mark?
I hope that it galvanizes them to do something. Like maybe, I don't know, if they're driving in a car, if it makes them go a little bit faster without getting pulled over. Just some sort of reaction would be really cool. I'd like a positive one, but it's got to move you in some way. It has to. Lyrically, I try to be as honest as I can. So maybe there's something there they could pull from. Musically, I try to play my heart out, every time. And really, whenever I write and I record, it is literally, I try to look at it as this might be the last time I might be doing this. So for whatever reason, life is unpredictable and death stalks us at every corner. So I really go with that kind of approach of writing, performing, and recording. And if they can feel that sense of urgency and the energy behind it, and that willingness to want to live hard, loud, and to their fullest ability, man, if they could do that to whatever capacity they can, I would be privileged to be part of their lives.
Who did the artwork for the single Gasoline Fire? Because I want to give a little shout out to the artists, because I don't think they get enough respect during interviews and things like that for their artwork for the albums.
I agree with that statement too. Absolutely. Mike Parker and his team at Lowbrow Studios. There was an artist, illustrator named Bo that was on the project as well. And I've known Mike. This is going to sound kind of wild. I've known Mike since high school, which is a little while. I mean, we're all growing up a little past that. But I reconnected with him, and I've seen that he's been into animation. And I said, we should work together sometime. And it just so happens that Gasoline Fire is going to be the first single, and I got this image and idea, and I kind of pitched it to him, and he sent over the rough draft, and the rough draft is pretty much kind of what you're looking at. Once I saw that, I was, holy shit, I was really excited. I mean, It's just great.
Yeah, it's a great cover art. I dig it. It's something simple, not 1,000 things in it. It's just a simple art, and it's very cool for this, man.
I think you summarized sort of my MO for how I try to view music, too. It's got to be complex enough, simple enough, but direct enough, I'll say, to go ahead and leave some sort of impact, you would hope. And I think there's definitely some synergy between Mike and I on this one, too. So not only Tim, Mike, also the musicians on the album and also on the single, and the engineers and everybody, I can't say my thanks enough for all these people. It might be my name that's on the front, but it's everybody that I work with that have really brought this thing to life.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. You have several years touring, and you've supported bands like Buckcherry, Disturbed, Steve Vai, former members of Pearl Jam and Blind Melon, Living Color, Everclear, Vertical Horizon, King's X, Cowboy Mouth, Eric Gales, Corrosion of Conformity, and even Bret Michaels. Being on tour and support with these bands and artists, what have you added from them, if anything, to your live show or just as a musician in general?
To try to pace it, because to think long term. I think that's the big thing. When you've seen some of these guys play, especially like a Steve Vai, who's absolutely off the charts, they have this aura about them where they control the space and time around them, and that's something I think I learned a lot from. And it's not only just something I learned and I own, it's always a learning process. So every time I go on stage or every time I'm writing or recording, you try to go and control the space around you. That's the biggest thing, because really it allows the lyrics, the melody, and the guitar playing and the band, for that matter, too. It allows everybody that environment to let the song breathe and live. And then after one song is completed, you really kind of have to reset and sort of refeel what the next one's going to be. So definitely pace.
How much growth musically have you seen yourself go through up to the release of this EP or album that you're getting ready to put out, plus your previous EPs? Or has it just been more of a personal growth for you along the way?
There's definitely a conscious effort to try to be better. And that's within everything that I do. It's so definitely, I definitely know I've grown. And I'm hungry for a lot more growth and knowledge. I'm always searching, always learning, and with learning too, just by listening to people you love or breaking down theory and being exposed to new art, whether it's music, painting, written, whatever. That stuff takes a little bit of time to creep into what you do.
Right.
So I hope that what I'm doing right now, reading, listening to, whatever, that might manifest itself and a few months from now. So I'm going to make sure I have the record button rolling when that happens. Or actually, the thing is always rolling, you know. You just kind of pick and choose on what you're going to develop and what becomes something.
Yeah. I mean, you could be in this industry for 40 years, and the day that you stop trying to grow musically is pretty much the day you just retired. That's the way I should see it, you know?
Yeah. That's the God's honest truth right there, my friend. I mean, it's you got to be hungry, not only to succeed in the business, which that's its own monster right there. You have to kind of wrangle with, but the actual art itself. I mean, it's a living, breathing relationship with music, and it constantly has to be developing. And you hope that within that you find what your voice is.
It's like, I'm a huge Metallica fan, and people give them shit for, they sold out when they did Load and Reload. I was like, well, how long can you go being angry? And I understand making the music that they did. I understand that. But how long can you keep going being angry? And, you know, at some point it's got to change and do something different, or you're going to get burnt out, and you're going to say, like, I'm stepping away for a while. And then that could be the end of it.
It becomes pretentious too.
Yeah.
It's better to go ahead and take the risk for the right reasons.
Yep.
If the right reasons are to develop as an artist.
Yep, I agree.
And it's you know, and I think that you brought up an interesting point about Metallica. See, the thing is that there's two ways of looking at music. There is music as an expression, which obviously is very important, and an emotion. But then there's music as an art. And music as an art, and this is strange to go ahead and say heavy metal as an art. Man, it's an art. It is an art. Blues is an art. Rock and roll is an art, and it's a fine art, you know? And the reason why is because there's so many excellent and amazing artists, technicians taking this form and developing it. So they fall into that category where they had to survive by developing into something that is part of what they are and part of something that hasn't been done before.
Do you do anything differently during the writing and recording process to help keep your mind fresh and open to not let your music get boring, to not let your music get stale? Do you do anything that helps you out possibly?
You're always walking a tightrope whenever you're writing, because you wanted to say something technically, but you can't think overly technical. You wanted to say something where people are going to understand what it is, but also have some creativity in the writing. So there's that part of it, which I guess maybe we'll call that the left side of the brain. And then you have the right side of the brain, which is really the artistic side. You know, today I finished writing, we're pretty darn close to it, finished writing a song I rewrote probably about 7 times. And I'll tell you why I think it's pretty much kind of done, I say kind of, because I'm still, even when everything is done, and probably, hopefully you'll be listening to it one day, I'm still going to be hearing something I could or should have done. Mm-hmm. But today I know that it's the right thing, and I'll tell you why. Because I stopped giving a damn so much about everything, and I said, fuck it, and I just did it.
Yep.
And then it's like, boom, the freedom of the art is there, and now I've been liberated. The song is free. So now it becomes something else. And now I'm more of a curator of what its final destination might be. And that's a good thing, because a lot of times when inspiration kicks in, you're just the vessel. And you hope that you can hold on to whatever that is and have it project through you to some degree. But once it's out, legitimately out, it's really, it's kind of becomes somebody else's. I mean, when people hear Gasoline Fire, they might take, I mean, that one's kind of a literal one, but when people might take it another way. I don't know. Who knows? But it's yours. Do what you like, but I hope what you do with it is going to be something that might be positive for you.
What can fans expect at a show from you who have not got to see you live as of yet? What are they going to get when they come to see you live?
I'd like to go ahead and say blood, sweat, and tears. You know, maybe not so much tears like, you know, sad. But right. I want to say that. I don't want to be cliche and say, well, you know, I'm going to go ahead and rip it apart and whatever. But I can assure you I'll do my damnedest to put everything out there. I really have a fixed mind on every note might be the last note, and every show might be the last show. So you got to really just leave it all out there. So really, I think that's it. I think that people will hopefully see me leaving it all out there, you know, and if they have some advice on how the hell to even make it better, I mean, let me know, because I swear to God, it's like a lot of times the best shows I've been performing at were ones where I feel I'm actually part of the show. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm the guy on stage playing. Yeah, the lights are on, but man, it's I need you. You know what I mean? I need the people. You know, it's us.
So we're living in the social media world now these days. Do you like this to reach out to more folks, to get your music out there, more exposed to folks?
I think any opportunity to talk with people is just great. I love talking. I talk all day. It drives my wife nuts, but well, sometimes it does anyways. But any opportunity to talk. There was a really nice guy yesterday that just dropped me a line on Facebook to ask me a question whether I was in some band some time ago. And that just kind of led into, I'm kind of chatting with this guy about music. He's asking me about what I do. And I was like, wow, this is so cool. And got to know him a little bit too. And so any opportunity to talk with people, I love it so much. So for all you folks listening out there, drop me a line, man.
Yeah, drop Mark a line. He'll talk with you. He's not bashful. Yeah. What do you bring to the table for music that's not out there as of right now? I mean, I know no one's reinventing the wheel, but what does Mark bring to this table of music that we live in?
Man, that's a tough question because I kind of have, the stuff that I like and that I love, a lot of people like and love, and there's a number of people that have done it. The difference between, I guess, what I do and what they do is that I try to bring myself into it. I mean, we all come from different places. So let's just say you're from Kentucky, right? Mm-hmm. You love, let's just say, Cream. Cool. I love Cream as well. How we hear Cream might be a little bit different. How we interpret it might be a little bit different based on our environment, our past, our upbringing, future ambitions, and what we actually want to take from it and use at that immediate moment. I think that maybe perhaps the honesty of being who I am would probably be the one thing I could offer. And I don't know how exciting that is, but I'm not trying to do it the way anybody else has, but I pay a lot of respect to the way people did it because, man, there's some absolute geniuses out there. And if I could do it like myself, that's all I could ever ask for, just to be honest about it.
What made you want to become a musician? What was that spark for you that said, yeah, that's what I want to do right there?
Well, looking back at it, I was probably a little idealistically crazy because it's like I'm a few years on in my career, and it's a crazy kind of thing. Because, I mean, this kind of life, it's all heart. I mean, you put your heart out there all of the time. You do. And then your brain hopefully follows. So that's just still the way it is. I mean, in honesty and in music and art, you really have to put that out there. The thing that really inspired me, I think at 11 or 10 years old, I mean, like any 10 or 11-year-old, I saw Randy Rhoads, I think is what it was. And I was
wow.
Like, what the fuck is this? I was like, dude, I mean, that's a little bit past Randy Rhoads' time, too. I think when I was 10, I'm pretty sure like something like Ultimate Sin, or what was the one after Ultimate Sin? No Rest for the Wicked was out for Ozzy at that time. But of course, you go back to Randy Rhoads and it's like, well, Jesus Christ almighty, what is this?
Sure.
And so it was really that, and I'm really kind of stubborn about things. And so I said, well, I'm going to get a guitar. I'm going to bother my grandmother. And, well, here's the thing. And I'm going to stick with it because I love it. And then, hear these guys, so over my head. A lot of it, even vocally. I mean, a lot of the vocalists. I love Ozzy as a vocalist, so I'll just kind of stick with him here. A lot of it was over my head, but then as I grew, the art kind of sunk in. Like I realized that there's this emotion, and then there's this technique, and then there's this like development, and then I realized I was like, oh my God, these guys are growing up and they're getting older and they're doing it, and they actually sound great doing it. That means I could do this too. Not only could I do it, it could be something that I could do for the rest of my life. Like Les Paul. I mean, what was he, 97 when he died? I mean, he did one show every week in New York still. And it's like, well, yeah, you could do it, and then that's it. It's about the music. I got hooked, and there's no going back.
Even today, looking back on Randy Rhoads, his music still just puts me in awe. I mean, his guitar playing, his riffs, I mean, it's just like, holy hell. We were truly blessed to have him as a musician for the length of time that we had. So
yeah, right, and that was so short too.
Yeah. And I still feel like Randy Rhoads, Cliff Burton. I think those dudes, Cliff Burton, of course, the mighty Cliff Burton from the Metallica, bass player from Metallica. Right. Those dudes are way ahead of their damn time, Mark. So much.
I agree with you. And what's interesting about that is that there's some level of acceptance right now with these guys in the mainstream. And I find it fascinating to see derelict art become high art through time. When these guys came out, I was actually cool enough to well, not cool enough. My parents were cool enough. I wasn't cool enough. My parents were cool enough to go ahead and let me play Ozzy like at home all the time. Yeah. Right. And a few of my friends, they weren't able to do that. So that was really cool of them to let me do that. So I'm very thankful for that because it was this derelict art when it was kind of like around, you know. I remember going to these shows when I was in 4th grade with my older brother, who was not that much older, but older enough where he was able to drive me. And I remember smelling hash and weed, and I was like, Jesus Christ, what's this?
Yeah.
And then going to class in 4th grade the next day. And but what you saw on stage and how people were reacting to it was the greatest thing in the world. It's like, I want in, you know? And so it's strange how that is now being respected and revered. And it should be. And I'm thankful, and I believe you are too, and the folks that are listening too, to be alive in this time period, to enjoy this. Because had we been born at a different time period, we wouldn't be part of what this is. And it's infectious. It's incredible.
That's exactly right, man. And for you folks who have not got to attend the show, I advise you to do it, because it's one of the best experiences of your life. And I'm not saying that just to get you to go do it, but if you love music as much as me and Mark and all these other musicians and people, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about when you go. When you hear the bands get ready to come on stage, the house lights go out, the chills go up you. It's something that you'll never ever forget, and that's the best rush and high you could ever fucking get. I
wholeheartedly agree. I believe it's safe to say that it's not just a song; it's everything.
Exactly.
Music defines who we are, right?
Yep.
That's some special stuff right there. I mean, because really think of it. Your life is defined by music and these artists. That is some serious shit right there. And that being said, I tread very, very lightly whenever I play and write music and release it, because I understand its importance. I mean, man, I tell you, it's that serious. It was that serious for me too, and it still is, you know. And it needs to be treated with that respect. It really does. And again, thankful to be alive.
It's like I've said this many times, and people are probably sick and tired of me saying it. But you know what? It's me. This is my voice. I mean, Metallica's Master of Puppets saved my life, hands down. I would not be here today without that album. And it's a constant reminder of when I see it and when I hear it, not in a bad way, but in a positive way now than before. So music is a voice for folks. Music could be your anger. It could be your relief. It could be your stress factor of letting stuff out. So never forget that, folks. Turn to music. That's all I can say.
Some heavy shit right there, but that's the truth if I've ever heard it, man.
Yep. Oh, it's heavy. That album's heavy with me for sure. Mark, my friend, are we going to get an album, EP? Is all the music done? When we going to have a release? What's going on possibly?
Yeah, everything's done. I guess I released Gasoline Fire just to kind of chum the waters a little bit and actually kind of see if anybody kind of cared out there, which I'm not being facetious saying that. I really just kind of hope people would like what I'm doing. So it seems to be getting a pretty cool response. You know, I'm on the phone with you, which is a really awesome thing, man. So it's like, I'm glad, you know?
Sure.
So the EP, we're looking at the middle of March right now. I'm guessing it's going to be out in April. I'm just kind of waiting for some of the art to come in right now. It's going to be a 5-song EP. And then I'm back in the studio in April cutting the next album, which I have a bunch of songs for that, but I'm going to see how many get on, how many don't. We'll see what that all sounds like once the tracks start developing, you know, in the studio. The songs are basically done, but you kind of want to feel what it's going to sound like. I mean, whenever I put together an album, I always kind of want to have it kind of moving along. I never want to have 2 or 3 songs sound the same. So I'm going to kind of see what that all sounds like when I'm constructing that one. Then I hope to have some dates for you guys. I'm networking right now with some people, and I would love to be part of some dates, and you know, that's an important thing. And I hope to, and I hope to see you in Kentucky again. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, I miss Kentucky. It's a really cool state, man.
Come on out and have a ball, man. We'll definitely be there. How can folks stay in touch with you? Tour dates, merchandise, this EP. Mark, how can they do that, good friend?
Well, I guess like Facebook is pretty cool. You know, I mean, that's good. Or like my website, markdanielmusic.com. That's fine. I'm generally, I think, pretty easy to find. If you put Mark C. Daniel in Google, I'll pop up and you'll see a bunch of stuff. And I'm terribly approachable and always available. So, you know, by all means, drop me a line any which way you'd like. It's all good.
Before I let you go, would you care to do a promo for my show?
Oh, I'd be honored. I'd love that. This is Mark C. Daniel, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Hey, everybody, stick around. We got some great stuff coming up, and you only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour and BODS Mayhem Radio Network. Please get out and check out our Facebook page. It has our YouTube link, plus it has our podcast link. And hopefully soon we'll have a Twitch link. Also, get out and check out Mark's music. Pick up his new EP that's going to come out. Tour dates, things like that. You won't be disappointed. Thank you so much, Mark, and have the best of luck ever, man.
Oh, dude, you're awesome, John. I really had a great time chatting with you, man. Let's do it some other time. That'd be great.
I'll take you up on that, good sir.
Awesome, man. Cheers to you, buddy. Thank you, everybody.
You're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.